last episode, we introduced ember-changeset, which lets you change things in a form without it immediately updating everywhere else in the app. But then, of course, once you hit save, it'll then propagate to the rest of the app, like you would expect. Aside from that core basic usage, there are lots of other properties and methods that are available to us. Today we're going to explore the implications of just one of those properties, the changes property. The changes property, it returns an array of objects, and those objects have a key property and a value property. The easiest way to use it is what they list here in the documentation. So we'll go ahead and paste that in here, and then we'll be able to see when we edit the monster and we make changes, it'll give us the thing that we're changing and what we're changing it to. So this is already pretty cool. We're going to be able to see what properties we're making changes to when we hit save, but we can make it even better. Let's go ahead and log out the changeset property. And so here's our changeset property, and it'll be updating as we add new things. So we can see that we have underscore changes, and here we have what we're listing out here. We also have underscore content, which contains an internal object. So if we can access that underscore content, we can get what it was before. Let me show you what we can do with this. So we can get changeset dot underscore content, and we're going to get the current key from it. So this will take this underscore content object and get the previous value of that key. So now this is telling us something that's way more useful. It's telling us that the name is going from Spark to Sparkachu. There is one thing to note about how this works though. If we go back to Spark, then it'll still say that the name has been changed from Spark to Spark. It doesn't quite recognize that they are the same thing. But enough with caveats, let's go on to more opportunities. One thing we could do is put a button here that will restore not everything, but just this one property. So we're going to call the restore action when we hit this button and feed it the key. The restore action will be setting the changeset property that goes with that key and replacing it with that same property but from the underscore content, which is what it was before. So we can see this in action. We can change this, and we'll go ahead and change another one. We'll hit restore on one, and it'll restore that particular one. And then when we hit save, it'll save the one that was not restored. So that's pretty cool. And there are even more things you could do with this. If you wanted to coordinate with the server, you could take this list of changes and you could save it so you could have a list of every change that had ever been made to this model. So you would essentially have a history that you could go back in time and rewind. So those are the implications of the changes property. And as you can see, there are a lot more properties and methods in ember-changeset. So we're going to go over one more of those, isDirty, in the next episode, and then move on to ember-changeset validations.